The Coalition for Change in Nigeria has issued a strong call to action demanding accountability, transparency, and fairness in the administration of Nigeria's natural resources. At a press conference on Wednesday, the coalition highlighted 3 critical areas that requires urgent attention: fuel pricing, expenditure on local refineries, and the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline project. In his address, Dr. Emmanuel Agabi seeks an immediate explanation of the fuel pricing mechanism, citing concerns over sustained high price despite market deregulation. He also demands a public inquiry into the billions of naira invested in local refineries, particularly the Port Harcourt Refinery, to hold accountable those responsible for any mismanagement of funds.
The government must, without delay, probe the expenditures committed to the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries. These refineries are essential to Nigerians' self-sufficiency in refining petroleum products. If these facilities are functioning optimally, there will be no need for blending plants for monopolistic control of refining operations in the country. We reject any attempt by individuals or organizations to monopolize refining operations in Nigeria. As a nation, we must diversify our refining capacities by licensing and encouraging the establishment of modular refineries across the country. These smaller, flexible units are better suited for our current needs and help reduce the cost of fuel for Nigerians. If there is anything that has been the bane of availability of petroleum products, it's the fact that it's actually monopolistic. And that is why we, as an NGO, will actually call for the fact that, in fact, both the refinery has to be competitive. We should have many of them actually functioning so that the availability can be guaranteed. And by virtue of the fact that it is competitive, you begin to see that the price will naturally fall. But so long as the distribution of petroleum products is monopolistic in nature, as just the NNPCL, the sole player there, the price must actually go high. And that's the more reason why we are of the opinion that there should be more refineries that should work. More refineries should work, distribution channels should increase, and when there are many players there, of course, ceteris paribus, all things being equal, the prices will actually come down. Apparently, another issue that requires immediate attention is the role of the NNPCL in the management of Nigerian oil and gas resources. As a public entity, the NNPCL must operate with full transparency. It is unacceptable that agreements, especially those with significant implications for the nation's future, are made behind closed doors. In particular, we demand a full disclosure of terms, financing, and long-term commitments of the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline project. What we are trying to say here is that, of course, when these agreements are entered into, and it is not a public knowledge, then it means that along the line, it's only people that are there that will know exactly what is happening. In other words, most of these agreements that are actually entered into by the NPCL, they are not transparent in nature. And once something is not transparent, especially when it comes to finances, you will know that accountability too will be affected. That's the more reason why, as an organization, we call for transparency, we call for accountability, we call for fairness, justice, and equity as far as these expenses, including the AKK gas pipeline expenditure, is concerned.
Speaking further, Agabi said any attempt to monopolize the refinery operations will be rejected, adding that the coalition advocates for diversifying refining capacity through modular refineries. The coalition emphasized the need for a national strategy to prioritize local refineries, which is said are faster to build, cheaper to operate, and more adaptable to local demands. According to Agabi, this would create jobs, reduce fuel costs, and provide a sustainable energy supply.
The Coalition for Change in Nigeria is demanding that the NNPCL and the federal government take immediate action to address the following. First, an urgent explanation of the current fuel pricing mechanism and reasons for the sustained high prices despite deregulation. Second, an immediate probe into the billions of naira reportedly invested in our local refineries, especially the Port Harcourt refinery, with a view to holding accountable those responsible for the mismanagement of the funds. Third, with full disclosure of the financial and contractual details of the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline project, including the agreements entered into on behalf of Nigerians. Finally, we reiterate our call for the licensing of modular refineries and the rejection of any monopoly in Nigeria's refining industry. We believe that by diversifying refining operations, creating jobs, and reducing the cost of fuel, we can ensure that Nigeria's oil and gas resources truly serve the people, not a select few. In full cooperation from Mr. President, we trust that the media and Nigerians will join us in holding the government and the NNPCL accountable for their actions. The time for silence is over. We must act now to secure a better future for Nigerians.